Life will knock us down, life will tear us down. It's not how many times we fall down, it's how many times we get up.
Put your feelings aside, give that wild side a try. I'm not that girl.
We all fear, we've all known fear, so what's the trick to overcoming fear? I'm Sharon Leanna, rolling out my weekly dose of unapologetic candidness. In today's video, I'll be sharing my 6 steps to overcoming fear. Be sure to watch all the way to the end so you don't miss any of my managing fear techniques. Step 1, rationalizing, understanding our fear. Making sense of what most frightens us or what we are afraid of. What are you most fearful of? Gaining some comprehension on what and why. We cannot overcome fear if we have sweet fuck all idea about what is causing the pangs of apprehension, dread, and anxiety within us. We must become fully in tune with what is causing these feelings to exacerbate, encouraging the heart pumping in our chest, the sweaty palms, the sleepless nights, tossing and turning. If it helps, start writing down your fears and why they bother you so much. Often when we put them in writing or speak out loud of them, then release them to the wind. Like bubbles, they float away until they become nothingness. We cannot overcome them if we keep them hidden within the depths of ourselves. We must somehow find ways to release them and the silent grip they have on us, the stress they inflict upon us. Diminish those little fuckers before they diminish us. Writing them down and really looking into them can help us get a better understanding of where they actually derive from. Are we fearful of failing? Are we fearful of falling? Are we fearful of looking a complete and utter ass? What is our fear and why? Understanding that every human alive becomes fearful of failure, fearful of change. It's a natural human emotion. When we are fearful of failure, it's because we are about to step out of our comfort zone and into that special place where the magic of betterment and transformation begins. That place of personal growth. Fear is simply worry for what could go wrong. And the more we worry today about tomorrow, the less functional we will be today. As Kevin Joseph, a co-creator, said in a recent video, 10 things to stop worrying about right now, which I'll link in my description below. We must stop worrying about tomorrow. We should spend more time focusing on where we are today. And I could not agree more. We should focus on the things we need to do and accomplish in this moment. Tomorrow is never a given. All we really have is right now, so we must stop fearing what may never happen. Step 2, think positive thoughts. Yeah, I know, it sounds a bloody cliche, but it actually works. When we think about something we are fearful of, something that incites fear and apprehension, it can become overbearing, consume us. Why do we feel fear? Because we are potentially overthinking all the negative aspects to what we are about to do. Why do we fall? Because we seldom look at fear as a way of coming into our own. We more so visualize ourselves as looking a complete and utter dick. So our mind demon trips us up and we unwittingly fail ourselves before we begin, rather than envisioning the prize that we may acquire by overcoming that fear, or the positive things we may obtain and accomplish. We dwell on all the bullshit scenarios we can muster in our minds. We as humans can be our own worst enemies at times. I am no exceptions. I used to be a massive overthinker. Negativity would often override positivity in my thought patterns. Overthinking and procrastination was my forte. Too much deliberation and not enough action run my life, till I began managing my fear, until I realized that looking at the positives as opposed to the negatives brought me closer to overcoming what I feared most in trying new things. Sure, negatives are always going to be there. We can't have light without darkness, good without bad. But failures are also not a given. We have just as much chance of succeeding as we have of failing. But if we never practice fearlessness and try, our fear of failure will win if we never try at all. But I believe good trumps bad, so when we visualize all the good that can come rather than the bad, we will calm down and be less resistant to do what we need to do to succeed. So how do I manage my fear? By smothering negative thoughts with positive thoughts. To get a grip on fear, dealing with anxiety, fear of looking a fool. We must try to make all the desirables our focal point. Step 3, train your mind to see the advantages over the disadvantages. This step correlates greatly with step 2. So easy to see the negatives in situations, imagine the worst. So often it's our knee-jerk reaction, rather than look at every wonderful thing that can come from staring fear in the face, obliterating it with positive mindset. We surrender to those mind demons, the fear. We shoot ourselves in the ass by going straight to the negatives. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong mentalities? But we need to shift our mentality to focus on just what if this goes right. We're just as capable to contemplate positive thoughts as we are to deliberate on the negatives. When I was advised by 3 different non-connected spiritual people to get myself on YouTube about May last year, one of which had met me personally, 2 of which had only seen me talking briefly in Instagram stories. Not gonna lie, my first response to all was, "Are you fucking crazy?" But somewhere deep within me, they'd set me a challenge. And anyone who knows me knows I seldom back down to a personal challenge. Sure, like most people, they can leave me feeling scared shitless, had me tossing and turning a few nights. This can serve as a practice on how to control anxiety when we are about to take a deep breath and jump. We must ask ourselves what we fear most. The fear of looking back with regret, or the fear of failure. For we only truly fail when we refuse to try. None of us are immune to the feelings that come with the fear of looking a fool. But I turned all the thoughts of what if I make a fool of myself around to just what if I make a difference, even to just a few. I dropped the ego, accepted I'd be an unknown on a platform buried under so much accomplished fabulousness. I will have to earn my stripes, but earn them I will, one motivational video at a time. I know my worth, I know the value I can contribute, and I want you to know yours. I know my potential, I know what I can ultimately bring to the table, and I want you to know what you can bring too. My determination game is strong. Give me a boom if your determination game is strong too. I could count on one hand the amount of people that support me from my real life. I'm building a strong foundation all on my own merit without a hand up from anyone. I know to build anything of standing and sustainability, I have to be strong in my purpose, strong in my resolutions, and build that strong foundation before I can rise. And the same goes for everyone. If we believe in ourselves enough to build ourselves from the ground up, then no bastard can ever knock us down. You can do it. I can do it. We do not need external validation. We just need self-belief and grit. We have the capability to be all and everything we want to be. But first, we must find that courage and conviction to not look at everything that can go wrong, but believe in all that can go right. Step 4, breathe and focus on mindful breaths. A method I've shared many times before and is so beneficial. I'm going to teach you the love and peace breathing method, a spiritual friend of mine taught me. Once you feel yourself becoming anxious or fearful, you can quite readily overcome fear, combat the heart palpitations by closing your eyes, gently breathing air through your nose and back out through your mouth. Focus on nothing more than your breathing and letting the calm wash over you, whilst visualizing breathing in peace, breathing out love. This method is also beneficial when sleep evades us too. Breathe in peace, breathe out love. Step 5, practice mindfulness and harmonious vibes. What is mindfulness, you may ask? It is the focus we place on becoming intensely aware of what we are sensing and feeling in the moment. Being aware of the fear arising and what is bringing on these emotions and acknowledging them. Practicing all that enhances calm and reduces stress. ACA peaceful breathing method, guided visualizations and positive thoughts. Place focus on rather than what exacerbates disharmony, what encourages harmonized energy. Focus on the present and giving calm and tranquility to our thoughts and sensations in the now. If you feed those fears by giving too much thoughts to sending them away, they will be on a frenzy of continuance in your brain. Acknowledge them, then mindfully imagine a positive scenario. Visualize the feelings of overcoming that fear and the emotions of adulation and excitement. That feeling of relief to be on the other side of the dread and gloom. Step 6, get your body moving, get outside. Tantalize those endorphins, get back to nature. I don't know about you, but when I'm in a shit of a mood, and let's face it, we all get in them. Getting outside, breathing in fresh air with the sun upon my shoulders breathes life into me. If I can go for a walk, climb, run, yell, dance, bring out my inner child, then I'm at my happiest. We are all human. We are allowed to be fearful. We are allowed to admit we are afraid. When we are afraid of the dark, we are not actually afraid of the dark. We are afraid of what may be lurking in the dark. When we are frightened of trying new things, we are not actually afraid of trying new things. We are frightened of all the things that could go wrong. When we are frightened of stepping out of our comfort zone, we are not actually frightened of stepping out of our comfort zone. We are frightened of the unknown. But it's only when we refuse to wallow in our fear of the dark, when we find the courage to search for the light, where we can see all the beauty before us. That's where fear is diminished and where triumphs and heroes are made. If you enjoyed my straight shooting take on how to overcome fear, please like, comment, subscribe and share. You'd be helping my channel so much. And I'm so grateful to those of you who already have. And while you're here, check out my other videos. I'll link my playlist below. For it is not the fear in itself we fear. It is all the imaginings, the visuals we conjure up in our mind. But once we learn to revel in the positives and understand that our fears are all perspective illusions of our mind's eye, only when we surrender to them do they become greater than you, greater than I.